bring in the great Johnny Bench, the Reds Hall of Fame catcher. Johnny, good to have you on the show.
Wow, tough day here. I'm listening. I think you're very concerned about concussions. I think you're worried about people. I think it's hump day. I think all of these guys are, dealing with some problems themselves because they seem to be, but of course you are the Lord Master. So.
Well, it's tough being the leader, Johnny. I mean, you know how this is. You were the leader of the Big Red Machine, and, sometimes you have to play the tough guy, the bad guy, the mean guy.
Yeah, and instead of just telling them that they're not doing their job, sometimes you come in and you don't yell at them and tell them get their, act together and stuff.
Yes.
Rather than doing that as a leader, you just sort of quietly just go about your job. Hope that they'll catch up and keep up.
Now, the topic of concussions is, I know, serious to you because you had a couple of concussions when you played, but how active are you now and how concerned are you with the concussions that you had?
Well, I'm assuming I had concussions. I got beamed 3 times, and they came out and said how many fingers do I have up, and if I came close, they sent me to first base. I was in a car wreck when I was 18, drunk driver on the wrong side of a 4-lane. And I pulled out to pass the truck, and then here he was, and I tried to go right, and he hit me right in the door. So I'm assuming that was certainly a problem. And so when I started a little bit of memory loss, I think, and what am I doing? Why did I go in here? Why did I do this? What am I supposed to be doing? And then when Gary Carter had the problem and developed the tumors, I started saying, am I going to be all right? And so I have a great doctor of optometry, and he's the head of the optical and visual stuff for the University of Cincinnati. And we started talking, and we got involved with the professor of neurology at the University of Cincinnati, Dr. Joseph Clark. And I said, what is happening? What's going on? What do I need to be aware of? Well, as it comes to find out, we through the group of us, they'd actually do testing with the Dynavision, the iSpan, the Titchoscope. And so they actually bring in all of their athletes. We did this with the baseball team. And the baseball team, we trained them better for their neurovisual side. And they raised their average 35 points, while the rest of the league went down 34. So we were able to train them, but at the same time, they were able to, at a point, have a normal reaction time for each of their athletes, basketball, football, baseball. So if you put out so many lights on the Dynavision, it was let's just say you have a 90 average, and you have any kind of head trauma, they'll come in and test you again, and now it's at 68. Well, they know immediately that you're not reacting, and so until you get back up in the high 80s, they're not going to put you back on the field.
Do you have side effects?
I don't feel like I have any. I don't have a long memory lapse, or I pretty much keep tabs of what I'm supposed to be doing, and I try to stay as active. I've always felt like whether I would have Alzheimer's or whether I would, develop any other problems with. So I've tried to stay with I do word games, I do, crosswords, I do anything that'll keep my mind sort of motivated and moving. And I know that Tom Seaver, because of the Lyme's disease, now is suffering from quite a bit of memory loss, and he's now taking medicine and he's better. But right now, I think there's been about 20 concussions so far in Cincinnati that they will do through the high school teams. Just basically, the trauma unit now sends patients to the University of Cincinnati for their evaluation. So, can we look at a guy and say he's not quite right?
Yeah.
I think you ask him questions and you find something better to do, and you learn it from the neuro side of it.
He's Johnny Bench, Reds Hall of Fame catcher, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Derek Jeter, first ballot?
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, how does somebody not vote for Jeter? I'm always amazed when we have these great players, and nobody's ever been 100%.
Neither was Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Neither was Ty Cobb. And I think it's been a tradition carried down that if these guys were never unanimous, then no one should ever be unanimous, and they will withhold their vote.
Could Jeter be overrated?
Oh, you can't overrate him. Is he the greatest ever? The longevity made him a lot greater. Obviously, his style and the way his character carried him over the top for me. I've always been a Jeter fan. Dave Concepcion played 20-some years. He didn't get 3,000 hits. But as a shortstop, I would take Dave over Jeter because of what he did for our team and where he did it. There's no underestimating what Derek has done. I mean, he's a value to baseball. And, of course, he played on the big stage. He was always a part of the big stage. He always was surrounded by, great teams, great players, and would only accentuate, in carrying a ball club. So, no, you never underestimate what his value has been or what he has done for baseball throughout his 20-year career.
Who would you want to catch right now of today's pitchers?
Well, I'd love to catch Kershaw, and from the other side, Wainwright. Hernandez would make me look good. It's always the thing about catching is like if you've got stuff, man. When I go to the All-Star game, I'd be catching Marichal. I never forget he walked off the field. That was the best time I've ever had because it was like you're just like painting a picture and you've got the artist out there and you just say, okay, let's put it here. And you could have caught him with a pair of pliers. I mean, it was like everything was just, perfect and in sequence. And when you've got great stuff, you can afford to go with different pitches. And different pitchers make that.
I was at Riverfront, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong here. Kenny Holtzman was throwing a no-hitter against the Reds, and you tried to bunt, I think, in the 7th inning. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Is it okay to try to bunt to break up a no-hitter?
Is it okay to be no-hit?
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm like, if it's 10-0, I'm still bunting to get on.
Absolutely. I had a home run in the Astrodome. It was the 8th inning. The kid had a no-hitter, and I hit a home run. I came in the dugout. Joe Morgan was jumping all over me. I mean, we were down like 7-0 at the time. He was jumping all over me because he didn't want a no-hitter. He didn't want us to be no-hit. He didn't want to not score a run. I mean, that's motivation. When the guys are saying, oh, well, you can't do that, you can't do this, the hell with it, man. Don't play back on me at third. I will drop a bunt. I dropped a bunt down in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Dodgers on a 3-2 pitch, and we won the game, and Lasorda still hates me for that.
Always great to hear from you, John.
Thank you so much.
All right,
and
buddy.
thanks for your concern over the concussions.
All right, buddy. That's Johnny Bench, Reds Hall of Famer.